tunes are these?
How did you guys meet each other, and what's the story behind the name Ill Truth? So we met each other at college back in Somerset, which is not far from Bristol. Me and Jay were both DJing, but we didn't know each other. I think we met after a party that I played at, and then we just started hanging out after that. I started producing a little bit before Jay, and then because we'd been friends, you know, it was kind of like we started producing together, making questionable music, I guess, at the beginning, and only until about a year ago we started Ill Truth. The name came from us wanting to make a new alias. We had like notepads full of cool words and sketches and phrases, and after about 4 months I think we filtered it down to, I think it was about 10 names, and we spent a good month just working out what we wanted to be called. We came up with Ill Truth. We thought it was a kind of hip-hop influenced name. We were both into hip-hop, you know, like early hip-hop, Run DMC, Wu-Tang, all of that sort of stuff, as a lot of people are. And yeah, we came up with Ill Truth. We thought it was quite hip-hop influenced. We've been making a lot of stuff that's fairly hip-hop influenced, that some of it hasn't been released yet. So yeah, that's about it. Your productions have a high level of variety. What are your main influences and inspiration when it gets to producing? We sample a lot of stuff, whether it's, well, it could be also like weird music. Even if it's like a 4-second bongo loop, you know, we'll sample it from some crazy song that we'd never listen to in our spare time. The variety comes, I think, from just hearing something that we like, and because we're quite influenced by other stuff rather than just drum and bass. You know, like Jay's into all sorts of stuff, I'm into different stuff to Jay. So I think the influence and the variety comes from that, and I listen to a lot of different music in my spare time and sample a lot of stuff from that as well. Inspiration and influences when it gets to producing, obviously we're influenced by drum and bass artists that are out there, because it's hard not to be. There's, you know, so much variety. But I don't know, I think we make what we like and we release what we're, you know, proud of. I think if we weren't doing that, then we'd probably be quite stagnant in what we were making. It would be quite similar, and you know. Do you already make a living by producing and DJing? No. Jay works a separate job. I work a separate job. At the minute, this is just something that we are trying to pursue. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, you know, we still have fun doing it. It's not something that we're putting all of our eggs in one basket, and we're not, you know, not saying that we don't believe in ourselves, but you know, I think we like it to still be a fun part of what we do, rather than having too much pressure on, you know, the money side of things as well. Vinyl or digital, what do you prefer for your private enjoyment? We both learnt to mix on vinyl, on turntables. Jay learnt to mix a bit before me, I believe, on vinyl. My dad was like a trance garage DJ back in the 90s, 2000s era, mostly on vinyl. So I think I've kind of got that from him. The feel of actually using vinyl is a lot more satisfying, I think, if you're just, you know, at home, private enjoyment, like it says, having fun. Vinyl, definitely. Digital is obviously convenient for gigs and, you know, playing out to people. We can't carry creative vinyl a lot of the time, especially with hand luggage. What kind of samples and or noises can ruin every track for you? Just having too much in a track can definitely ruin it. I think having a great track with just a drum break and a really good hook or a bassline hook, anything like that, if you can make something work and you can listen to it on repeat for hours and hours and hours, then that's great. I think when you get to the point where you're adding in stuff because it's not right and you'll just keep adding and adding and adding is when you can ruin things. As a producer, we'll listen to a track that maybe get released in 6 months time from now that we've spent 3 months producing on, and you'll, like every other producer, you'll listen to that track for hours and hours and hours and hours on like an 8-bar loop, 16-bar loop. So I think having a hook that works with very little in it is always more satisfying than having more in it. So for me, and I'm sure for Jay as well, too much can ruin a track. Your favourite music for travelling, artists or genres? My mum's really into Motown, Earth, Wind and Fire, Sister Sledge, all this sort of stuff. So I've kind of grew up on that. I've grew up on a lot of weird I say weird, it's not weird, it's great music, but funk, soul, hip hop. Jay's very similar. So I think for me, traveling, I kind of go back to that. I go back to more conventional music, conventional music, or older music. It kind of doubles up for us as well because we sample a lot of music. So it means if you're listening to that stuff, you might find a short snippet that's 10 seconds long that you can take and you can put it in a sampler and rework it, and next thing you know, you've got a track that sounds nothing like the original sample. You lock yourself out of your flat. What's the first song that comes into your head? Yeah, it's Diana Ross, It's My House. But it's the vinyl only extended dance mix as well. Yeah, it's just funny. It's the only song that I can listen to and always laugh. It's because it's got a lot of memories attached from Sun and Bass, and a lot of the Bristol guys that we hang out with. It's just a really funny song. I think if I was locked out of my house in a really dire situation, I'd want to be laughing to kind of take the pain away. What's coming up in 2018? Music/festivals/gigs/touring. Music-wise, we've got the Ill Truth Presents album coming out in January or February. That's on Lockdown Recordings. It's a compilation of, various artists compilation of guys that are either up and coming or friends of ours that haven't ever had music released, that we kind of wanted to just snatch them up, but in a good way for them. We've got some friends that would never send the track to a record label because they're scared of doing it. So it's kind of nice being able to just say to them, like, this is a great track, it's us, we're your friends, you don't need to worry about the big label boss being like, this isn't good enough and all this. We're just like, we want to be able to put it out and hopefully start their next lot of releases, which they are good enough to do. It's just getting that, foot in the door and that kickstart. After that, we've got an EP coming on CIA. Don't know when, but it will be in 2018, alongside a lot of other 2 tracks and remixes for certain labels. Festivals, we haven't been booked for any festivals. We haven't played at any festivals yet, other than a few local ones to Bristol. Gig-wise, we're playing in Fabric in February, we're playing in Brighton in January, we're playing in Karlsruhe in January. We're just trying to get out as much as we can, really. Get out of Bristol, love Bristol, but we just want to expand and see what else there is to offer. So, yeah, just doing it. I think that's everything. Cheers.
Killers and gays.